On an October morning in 1849, a gaunt, disoriented man was discovered near Ryan's Tavern in Baltimore. Within days, the world would learn this was Edgar Allan Poe, famed poet and storyteller. His final hours remain as enigmatic as his tales. 4 days after being found, Poe was dead, his last moments shrouded in confusion and contradiction. What happened in those fleeting hours has puzzled historians for generations. Just weeks earlier, Poe was in Richmond, Virginia, enjoying a rare period of stability and ambition. He lectured to adoring crowds and began making plans for a new future. He had recently suffered a serious illness he described as a cholera attack, but he recovered enough to consider marriage and a return to New York for editorial work. On September 27th, Poe left Richmond for New York. Between this departure and October 3rd, history loses track of his movements. No reliable account bridges this disappearance. A week later, on October 3rd, a Baltimore printer named Joseph W. Walker found Poe outside Ryan's Tavern, dazed, disheveled, and unable to explain himself. Joseph Walker wrote urgently to Joseph E. Snodgrass for help, describing Poe as a gentleman rather the worse for wear and in great distress. When Snodgrass arrived, he saw a man transformed. Unkempt hair, a haggard face, and vacant eyes. Poe's clothes were worn, dirty, and notably unfamiliar, ill-fitting and not his own. Snodgrass described Poe's condition as repulsive. These details were echoed by Dr. John Joseph Moran, the young physician who soon received Poe at Washington College Hospital. Dr. Moran wrote that Poe wore a stained old coat, threadbare pantaloons, battered shoes, and a straw hat. He noted that Poe's attire was not only untidy, but out of character for the usually meticulous writer. Hospital staff placed Poe in a barred, prison-like room reserved for those incapacitated by drink or delirium, and he was allowed no visitors, not even close friends. For the next 4 days, Poe drifted between lucidity and delirium. He never divulged where he'd been or how he came to be found in such distress. His silence deepened the mystery. Dr. Moran, Poe's only attendant in those days, chronicled harrowing moments, accounts that have become both famous and heavily disputed by historians for their contradictions. On the night before he died, Poe reportedly called out the name Reynolds several times. No one knows who this Reynolds was. Theories range from local judges to newspaper editors Poe once knew. Some said Poe was seeking his uncle-in-law Herring, not Reynolds at all. Dr. Moran would later mention a Mrs. Herring visiting, but no records confirm this. Delirium clouded Poe's thoughts. He muttered about a wife in Richmond, possibly confusing his late wife Virginia with Sarah Elmira Royster, his new fiancée. Confusion ruled even his most personal remarks. Poe's baggage was missing. He did not recall what happened to his trunk of personal belongings, later tracked down at Swan Tavern, back in Richmond. Some accounts record Poe responding with despair during rare lucid intervals. Dr. Moran claimed Poe once replied, the best thing his friend could do would be to blow out his brains with a pistol. Yet Moran's tendency to embellish makes this quotation suspect. Strangely, while Poe was treated as a drunk, Dr. Moran insisted decades later that Poe had no odor of liquor about him, fueling debate about whether alcohol played any role in his demise. Witness testimonies differ sharply. While Snodgrass described Poe as suffering gross intoxication, Dr. Moran consistently denied any evidence of drunkenness, even decades after the event. No visitors were allowed to see Poe. The only surviving details come from Dr. Moran, whose credibility quickly unraveled. Each account he published differed, sometimes radically in chronology and content. Some of Moran's stories border on the poetic. In later essays, he claimed Poe's dying words were elaborate, almost literary. Other witnesses found this unlikely. Despite these embellishments, the simplest version, "Lord, help my poor soul," is the line most often repeated. Poe died on October 7th, just after 5 in the morning. No hospital records or death certificates survived. The precise time of death and even the circumstances remain open to interpretation, obscured by unreliable reporting. The cause of Poe's death has occupied biographers for more than a century. Murder, suicide, cholera, rabies, epilepsy, brain tumor, and diabetes. All suggested, none proved. Poe once nearly died from a laudanum overdose. Yet, evidence for suicide in his writings and later psychological analysis is mostly circumstantial, suggesting depression but not intent to die. Joseph Snodgrass published articles blaming alcohol, a common but now much disputed explanation, given evidence Poe abstained for long stretches and was a member of the Sons of Temperance. Other theories point to rabies. After a 1996 medical analysis noted Poe's symptoms of delirium and a possible aversion to water. No hair or tissue tests supported heavy metal poisoning. The cooping theory remains one of the most popular. On election day, gangs could abduct men and force them to vote at multiple polls, often changing their clothes. Poe's condition and unfamiliar clothes fit this grim pattern. But skeptics argue Poe was too famous to be an effective victim of cooping in Baltimore. The truth behind his condition, appearance, and silence might never be known. After Poe's death, his funeral was brief and somber. A few family and friends stood in the cold rain as the coffin was lowered at Westminster Hall and Burying Ground. Poe's initial grave bore no ornament, just a simple marker reading No 80. His legacy, as fragile as his final days, would soon be reshaped by others. Almost at once, Poe's reputation came under attack. An obituary signed Ludwig appeared in the New York Tribune, both praising and condemning Poe, alternating admiration with character assassination. The author of this obituary was Rufus Griswold, Poe's rival, who would further distort Poe's life in a later biography, amplifying rumors of madness and addiction. Griswold's biography, filled with fabrications, set a pattern for generations of writers and biographers, coloring Poe's image for more than a century. Eventually, Poe's public legacy began to recover, but the confusion surrounding those last 4 days has never lifted, a puzzle pieced together but never truly solved. In death, Poe became as mysterious as the characters he created. To this day, the true story behind his final days remains one of literature's darkest riddles.